0-2.
Come on now.
Smith comes set of the tomahawk. 0-2 on the way. Chopper out to Dansby. Dansby throws to first base. Is this happening? It is! The Atlanta Braves are world champions! The Atlanta Braves have won the 2021 World Series in 6 games over the Houston Astros. Pure euphoria down on the field as they're bouncing all over the infield.
And in the booth.
Celebration going on the field, and folks, this is what dreams are made of. And for the 2021 Atlanta Braves, the dream has come true. They are world champions in 2021. What an incredible moment and a wonderful time for all of us.
Welcome, Big Time Dynasty League owners. Hope everyone had a great week. We have now concluded 9 weeks of fantasy football. Where has the time gone? And before you know it, the playoffs will be here in just a few short weeks. Still a lot to play for, as most teams are still contending for those top 4 playoff spots. And we'll talk all about what week 9 presented to us. Lots of things going on, some really close matchups. In fact, I went back and looked at it, and this is week 9 is the closest amount of matchups that we had where there were scores that were within 30 points of each other. So a close week, the closest week of matchups that we've had thus far this year. But enough of that. Let's get right into the power rankings, and boy, oh boy, do we have some discussions I'm sure that will be had about the power rankings. There is no discussion, however, and the number 1 spot still goes to Jordan Smithline, and I just want to take a second to congratulate Jordan. Winning 9 straight, being 9-0 is such a tough accomplishment in fantasy football. It takes a number of things to go on. So congratulations, Jordan, 9-0, number 1 in the power rankings. Snip, snap, taking the number 1 spot. Holding on to the number 2 spot, even though he took a loss, Lance Batiste's Scranton Stranglers at 5-4 is still the number 2 team in the power rankings. And another team who took another loss, how you doing? Kyler Parkinson's Bums from the Dock, also at 5-4, stays in the number 3 spot. Moving to the 4th spot, Knights of the Night, Nathan Pierce's team at 6-3. Strong record, number 4 in the power rankings. Number 5 is Frank's Uncle Creepy's, also at 6-3, just outside the top 4 spots. Followed by myself, the cruise director, Captain Bruisin, at 4-5, but number 6 in the power rankings. And the disrespect continues for Jake Bishop's Big Boobs, 5-4 record, number 7 in the power rankings. Followed by Matt with Sean's Prison Mike at 3-6 in the number 8 spot. JT at the 9 spot at 1-8, grabbing his first win of the season, and Jans Can's Nate Hyde's team at the very bottom. So those are your power rankings, and without further ado, let's dive right into the weekly rundown.
Hey, you know what? Do you have a rundown that I could take a look at just so I know what type of rundown you're looking for?
Just keep it simple.
Keeping it simple, that's what I'm doing. But I am working hard on this one, real hard.
You're working hard on this?
No, not too hard, not harder than I should.
Right. I mean, why work harder than you should?
No,
All right, let's move into our Thursday night football matchup. And as Lance said earlier, it definitely lived up to its Thursday-ness. That is because we had a 1-7 team take on a 0-8 team. And what do you know? JT gets the big, decisive victory over Jans Cans. In fact, the largest margin of victory of the week, 113-83.
as JT clobbers the 1-8 now Jans Cans. JT gets some solid performances. Jalen Hurts scores 16. Elijah Mitchell puts up 12.9. Devonta Smith with 22. And A.J. Dillon with 13 points. Other than that, everyone else scored under double digits, but it doesn't matter as he got plenty to beat the just very, very, very struggling Jans Cans with 83 points. Patrick Mahomes still scuffling with 10 points on the day. Nyheim Hines, his top scorer with 20 points. Devontae Booker with 15 and Allen Robinson with 10. Other than that, everyone else under double digits. In fact, Sammy Watkins with a 0 and did not play. That is how the season is going for Nate and Jans Cans. Moving on to the 1 p.m. game. My matchup with Bums from the Dock, the newly named Captain Bruisin', putting a bruising on Bums from the Dock, getting a 149 to 121 point win, as Justin Herbert gets a monster performance, 33.6 points, and the performance of the week, none other than James Conner with 41 points, carrying the Arizona Cardinals to victory. Outside of that, Jalen Waddle puts up 16, Tyler Higbee puts up 10, and Javonte Williams puts up 11, and my kicker, Matt Gay, puts up 12 points. Bums from the Dock moving to 5-4. Kirk Cousins gets 23 points. Zeke puts up 12. Cooper Kupp puts up 20. Devontae Adams struggles and only gets 10. Darren Waller gets 16. And Justin Jefferson puts up 19. So some solid performances, but notable struggling performances. Chase Edmonds with 1 carry goes out with less than a point. And Kadarius Toney with only 1 catch and 1 carry for negative yards puts up 1.7 points. That doesn't get it done. Kyler moves to 5-4. Myself, Captain Bruiser, moves to 4-5. And we're on to the 4 p.m. matchup as Knights of the Night gets barely a victory over Prison Mike, Matt Washon's team, 148 to 143 in a very tight 5-point victory. Nathan Pierce's team, Knights of the Night, Joe Burrow struggles, only gets 6 points. Melvin Gordon, though, gets a big 17.5 point performance. Cordero Patterson just continues to eat with 19 points. Bobby Trees puts up 17 points. Keenan Allen puts up 22. Marquise Hollywood Brown puts up 20. And Darnell Mooney, with no points at halftime, finishes with his best performance of the year at 20 points. And that is just enough to beat Matt's Prison Mike, who gets a really bad performance from Josh Allen, getting only 8 points and loses to Jacksonville Jaguars. But his bell cow running backs continue to show up. Jonathan Taylor with a monster game, 35 points. Alvin Kamara with 20 points. Christian Kirk, in the absence of Hopkins and A.J. Green, gets 17 points. Hunter Renfrow shows up and gets almost 17 points. And Kenyon Drake also gets 16 points. Other than that, though, you got some performances that he really needed from Jamar Chase that just weren't there. Zach Ertz, only 5 points. And like I said, Josh Allen really struggled, and that is why Matt picks up the loss and moves to 3-6, while Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night rolling at 6-3, and now we move on to the Sunday night football matchup. What was supposed to be a very important and very tight race or matchup, and Jordan Smith Lines snip snap gets a 138 to 108 30-point victory over Frank's team, Uncle Creepy's. Frank's team really struggled again this week. Jordan got big performances from Lamar Jackson, who started off slow and then finishes with 30 points. Joe Mixon with a big performance at 28 points. Josh Jacobs gets 13. Michael Pittman gets 16. Evan Ingram gets 12. And that is it in terms of big performances. Jordan, despite not getting some big performances from guys he normally does, still gets a decisive 30-point win as Frank only scores 108. Nick Chubb carries his team with 31 points. Dalvin Cook with 16. Deebo Samuel only scored 11. Brandon Cooks scored 11. And that is it for guys who score double digits on Frank's team. Really a struggling type of day for many teams. Frank moves to 6-3. And Jordan gets yet another win and moves to 9-0. And now we go to the Monday night football matchup between Lance's Scranton Stranglers going on the road to take Jake's Big Boobs and Jake gets the upset victory, the 121-110 victory over Lance's team. Jake gets some big performances. Actually, this week, he doesn't really get any massive performances, but every single guy on his team except his kicker scores over double digits, and that is why he wins against Lance. Matt Stafford struggles, only gets 13. Austin Eckler only gets 11. But the Bills Mafia, Stephon Diggs, Manny Sanders, and Cole Beasley all score 14, 10, and 11 respectively. And George Kittle, welcome back off his new owner, going from Captain Bruisin to Big Boobs, puts up 19 points. CMC also comes back and puts up 13 points. And that gets it done against Lance, who really struggled today, like I said, like many owners did, getting only 110 points. Danny Dimes only scores 7. Najee Harris scores 16. T. Higgins puts up 13 points. Jerry Jeudy puts up almost 13. Travis Kelce puts up almost 18. Outside of that, a lot of guys really struggling on the day for Lance, and that is why he moves to 5-4. And Jake now also moves to 5-4, and that is your weekly rundown. Okay, well, like I said in the rundown, a lot of teams struggled this week. It was a weird week in the NFL, a lot of weird low-scoring games, and a lot of guys really struggling to put up some points. Needless to say, today is a new day, and Week 10 is a new week. But before we move on to the next week, we still have a couple more things to talk about for Week 9, including our standings. Jordan, number 1 at the top, 9-0. Number 2, Knights of the Night. Nathan Pierce moves to the 2 seed at 6-3, followed by Frank, who loses but still remains at 6-3, falls to 6-3, remains in the top 4 spots at number 3. Then followed by him is Kyler's Bums from the Dock, also gets the loss, moves to 5-4, but retains his top 4 spot in the number 4 spot. Scranton Stranglers, number 5, Lance Batiste, also loses, moves to 5-4, and is just outside the top 4. Then you have Jake's team, Big Boobs, at 5-4, gets a big win over Lance, moves to the number 6 spot. Then myself, Captain Bruisin, gets a much-needed win, moves to 4-5, is the number 7 spot. Then number 8, Prison Mike at 3-6. Then JT at number 9 gets the win over Nate, which gives him the tiebreak, moves to 1-8. And then Jan's Cans, Nate Hyde's team, at the very bottom at number 10 at 1-8, but still one of the guys. And so with that said, we have to move to the next part of our weekly recap, and that is Ruin the Program. Take it away, Matt.
It's Paul Johnson right there. Ruined our program, and that's all right. He's still here.
Okay, some pretty decent candidates for this week's Ruin the Program award. Certainly there are a couple to choose from. We had some close matchups, but none was closer than the matchup between Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night and Matt Washon's Prison Mike. It was exactly a 5-point victory, and I cannot not give it to Josh Allen. Matt Washon put up very good points on the week. 143, gets good performances from several of his guys. Literally needed Josh Allen to score 5 more points, which is not crazy considering he was projected to score almost 27 points. Instead, puts up 8.5. Loses to the Jacksonville Jaguars by the score of 9-6. Josh Allen throws 2 picks and fumbles and throws no touchdowns. So Josh Allen, you pick up the Ruin the Program award this week. Sorry, Matt. Had to do it. It only makes sense.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. So y'all can sit here and ask me all the questions y'all want to. I'm going to answer with the same answer, so y'all can shoot if y'all please. I'm just here so I won't get fined. Time.
And welcome back to another edition of our guest interview here on the Weekly Recaps. And I am very, very happy to announce that we have the owner of Jake's Big Boobs, Mr. Jake Bishop. Welcome to the interview. How you doing today?
Woo! I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to first of all congratulate you on a big win over Lance's team, the Scranton Stranglers. Big time victory over a good team in Lance. How are you feeling after that win?
Feeling on about cloud 8, almost on cloud 9. We coming off a heartbreaker to Kyler's team, and it was hard to get back. I was hoping to pick it up the next week. Got smashed by the number one guy, and I couldn't afford a third loss in a row. It's going to be rough coming in. Lance's team, he's got a pretty solid team. Just looking to find a way to win as best possible, and squeaked one out. Had a rough couple outings from guys that I really expected to be on the good side of their score, but the other guys stepped up, so it was a good week.
Yeah, it was. And after taking a look at your matchup, I think this is the kind of team that you have. It doesn't seem like anybody just scores a ton, but every single guy on your team just produces on a week in and week out basis, and that's what happened this week against Lance. And yeah, you got a big win. You needed the win. But I want to address something that has kind of become a reoccurring pattern this year, and that is the power rankings. As we have just heard, you have finished 7th in the power rankings again, even though you just got another win, moving to 5-4 over Lance. Is there anything you would want to say about that? Do you feel disrespected? Do you like flying under the radar? What is your view on that?
I don't know if it's the BCS model. I don't know what we're working with here, but, I'm just going to have to just put that on the back of my mind. I can't focus on it. I can't focus on the rankings. I just got to put my best foot forward each and every week and just prove the rankings wrong. I mean, when teams look at me, they say, Big Boobs with a Z's at the bottom. Well, Big Boobs with a Z's got some good wins under their belt, and they're looking to make a comeback. They're a better team than they were at the beginning of the year, and that's what I was hoping to have. And now I'm ready to compete. So
I agree, man. I don't know what it takes, but the Atlanta Braves finished with 88 wins this season. Nobody thought they could do anything, and they won the World Series. So maybe it's the year. Maybe it's the year of the Braves and the Boobs.
Maybe it is. We'll see.
All right. So look, you have your schedule was interesting. I didn't know this moving into this interview, but we play each other this coming up week. Big matchup for both of our teams. You start 3 Bills receivers almost every single week. Looking at your team, it's quite remarkable that it works. Who's a guy on your team that you really need to step up, and who's a guy on your team that you've been really impressed with this season that you didn't expect to produce as much as they have?
Well, first off, I'd like to address the Bills Mafia receivers that I have. It's an unexpected lineup that's actually worked out for the most part, and I'm just happy to keep it rolling. Yeah, there's some down weeks, but overall, majority-wise, they're pretty consistent. I have to give a shout out to Leonard Fournette, the guy that I traded for earlier in the season that wasn't expected to be one of my top running backs, and he is. And he's been consistently up there. He's the 13th ranked running back, and I don't think anybody thought he'd be even close to that really at the beginning of the year. And so that's huge.
True.
Go ahead.
No, it's true. It's true. Playoff Lenny is now regular season Lenny.
Right, exactly. And the guy I need to step up, I've had a lot of changes, but a guy I need to step up and be the guy that he is Austin Eckler. I need him to continue to produce. I know he's injury prone in the later parts of the season. Me and Nate always joke about that, but if he can stay healthy and the new additions of CMC and George Kittle, just be yourself and we'll be good. Just don't get hurt.
Yeah, man. Look, you made some moves this year, and a lot of credit needs to go your way. You've traded for a lot of these guys, like you said, Leonard Fournette, McCaffrey, Damian Harris, another starting running back of yours, George Kittle. No thanks to me, who traded you those guys. But you made a lot of moves, and I think that's what a lot of the league needs to see is that you keep adapting and adjusting, and it's giving you some wins. So I just wanted to say you deserve a lot of credit for the season that you've had. You're new to the league, navigating the league and everything that comes with it. So congratulations to you on your win, moving to 5-4. Best of luck to you this week, although maybe not as much luck as normal because I need a win as well badly. You beat me the first time early in the season. So here's what I'll leave the interview off with, as I do every single guest every week. Is there anything you would like to say to any of the league owners or anybody in the league that you have a message for specifically or just in general?
And there's no one specific. Just addressing the league as a whole. Y'all know I'm not supposed to be this low, and I think there may be when I get these guys healthy, CMC, Kittle, Eckler, I think there may be some people that are scared at the top. They're looking at me. They're like, man, he's getting better. So just keep being worried. Just stay there. I'll be coming up to meet you eventually. And, go Vols, beat Georgia. It'll be a great weekend.
Rocky Top, baby. I'm rooting for you, too.
Sure.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, the owner of the now 5-4 Big Boobs, Jake Bishop. Thank you for the time. Hope you have a great rest of the week.
Sir, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
I'll let you in on a little secret. I've been very much looking forward to this moment. Very, very much. I have been steeped in anticipation. Toby has been cruising for bruising for 12 years, and I am now his cruise director, and my name is Captain Bruisin.
Wow. Thanks, Michael.
Can I just say that of all the idiots, in all the idiot villages, in all the idiot worlds, you stand alone, my friend.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
All right, top scoring team of the week. It is very close, but this week it goes to Captain Bruisin, putting a bruising on bums from the dock. Sorry, Kyler. How about them Cowboys, and how about Captain Bruisin taking you down 149 to 121 this week? My team slightly edging out some other notable scores of the week, mainly Nathan Pierce, just barely edging him out. He scored 148.78. I scored 149.04. Matt also came close at 143, but it was my team, Captain Bruisin, with the top scoring team of the week, carried by the Vulture, James Conner, and that moves us into the individual top performers of the week. And I will just say, looking at these individual performers, it will explain a lot as to why this week was so weird, because we move into the quarterback. It seems very normal. Justin Herbert taking the number one quarterback score of the week. My quarterback, 33.6 points. Jake's Big Boobs, Matt Ryan, scores 31.5. And Lamar Jackson, number 3, Jordan's quarterback, at 30.6. However, Josh Johnson is the 4th highest scoring quarterback of the week. Just thought that was interesting. Moving on to running back. This is where things get weird. James Conner is the top scoring running back of the week at 41.3 points. My running back, followed by Jonathan Taylor, Matt's running back, at 35 points. Big time week for Jonathan Taylor as he just keeps on dominating. And then Nick Chubb, welcome back from his injury, 3rd scoring running back of the week. That's Frank's Uncle Creepy's at 31.3 points. Wide receivers, 2 rookies at the very top of this week's top scoring wide receivers. Elijah Moore of the New York Jets, scoring 27.4 points, is the leading wide receiver in points for week 9. Frank's wide receiver. Number 2 is Devonta Smith, JT's wide receiver, at 22.6 points. And then Keenan Allen, Nathan Pierce's wide receiver, with 22.4 points. In a close 4th place everyone's favorite wide receiver, Lamade Zaccheaus. So that explains a lot. Moving to tight end, another rookie at the very top, Pat Freiermuth, a newly acquired off the waiver wire. My tight end on the bench is the top scoring tight end of the week at 21.3 points, followed by Jake's tight end, George Kittle, at 19.1 points. Welcome back, George Kittle. And Travis Kelce, who just lives, he's the landlord of the top scoring tight ends, it seems, each and every week at 17.8 points. And then lastly, the kickers. Not all three kickers were on the waiver wire. My kicker, Matt Gay, finished second with 12 points. Chris Boswell, the Steelers kicker, on the waiver wire with 15. And Graham Gano and Brandon McManus both tied for third, both on the waiver wire with 11 points. And that concludes this edition of the weekly recap, the Week 9 weekly recap. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you are enjoying it. The competition is getting fierce. It is getting stiff. The smack top is growing. And just a reminder, no one even remotely comes close to scoring 195 this week as the side pot jackpot rolls on over to $180 for this coming up week. So go get it. Go get that big jackpot. And good luck to everyone this week, Week 10. Congratulations to those winners. And I'll see you next week. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good week.
With them diamonds in it, where'd you get that matching Benz with them windows tinted? Who them girls you be with when you be riding through? Man, I ain't got nothing to prove. I paid my dues, breaking the rules and shake fools while I'm taking the cruise. Tell me who's your.
What do you think having a 37-year-old?
We're on to Cincinnati. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. Right now, we're preparing for Cincinnati.